Welcome in to episode 20 of our Let's Play Ara History Untold series. We haven't crossed into Act 2 yet. We have. The AI needs to catch up. We're in Act 2 tech-wise. We're not in Act 2 quite yet in the game because more people have to enter the next tech era in order for that to happen. But we're progressing the game quite nicely. We're on turn 177. We are in the middle of a golden age. And we've got lots of fun things that we're trying to execute as far as a government kind of switch and then switch back in this particular episode. So we'll see how far we can get. If you need to catch up on any of the action, down in the description below, there's a link to episode 1 of the series. If you want to catch up on everything that has happened leading up to this point in our game, let's jump in and see where Ara History Untold will take us today. We are here. Again, not in our capital, but in New Coahuila, because we're building the Monastery of Battaglia here. We also have the Library of Celsus going in during our Golden Age. That one's going to finish in 2 turns, so we're not worried about that. We have 7 turns left in our Golden Age. This monastery is going to take 9 turns as a triumph to create. So when we get to that 6th or 7th turn, you can do it on the 7th when your Golden Age is still going. I might do it a turn early just to ensure we get it done. And just have it, completely finished. But the maths say, at least my testing says, you can rush a triumph at the last turn of your Golden Age and still get that bonus prestige of 25%. But we'll see how it kind of progresses for us here. So that's what we're kind of focused on. We have to make sure that we don't end our Golden Age without buying out the monastery in New Coahuila. We already have built cathedral in Cologne, the Cologne Cathedral here. We already built this. That's a lovely triumph that we put in this age, and we already built the Hanging Gardens during this particular Golden Age as well earlier, so lots of things going on. We're also prepped for a government flip-flop and flip-flop back scenario. We have a settler here that's going to most likely settle this spot. We actually don't know exactly where they're going to settle yet, and we have a settler that is moving up in this direction to try to get 2 settles out. Now, we are, as you know, at the bottom here, currently at our city cap. We're going to try a switch to Empire, which is going to bump our city cap by 2. We're just going to do that for 1 turn, literally. We're going to 1 turn into Empire, settle 2 cities, and then switch over to feudalism, because that's going to be the best government for us here as far as just the benefits. And we'll see that when we switch to it. It's quite good. But it only has an 8 city cap, just like we currently have. So if we want to settle more cities, we have to go over the city cap. And in order to do that, we have to get the spots to be able to do it so that we can settle them. Once you're at the city count you want to be at, you could switch governments back and drop down, and then you're just going to accrue the penalty, which is, I believe, just a happiness penalty in all of your cities, per how many you are over your city cap. So that is the plan that we're trying to execute currently. We've got all of our crafters crafting. We've got everything kind of humming along. We're putting in quite a few grocers now because we're trying to get our amenities online. And make sure that we have enough food to sustain our empire as we start to hit some of those key growth milestones in the cities. Once you start getting up into like the 20s, even approaching the 20s, the food requirements get very, very high for your empire. They recently actually did some tweaking to that in a very recent patch that just came out a little bit ago. They did some tweaking to city growth and food and a couple different things just to I think even it out a little bit. There were a couple really substantial jumps that I think had always caught players by surprise when food would go from you need this much, all of a sudden you need a huge amount when you jumped up. And so they've evened that out a little bit, but they didn't even that out by nerfing the food requirements. Actually, they actually increased some of the food requirements in earlier ages, earlier city levels, in order to make it feel like it's a more kind of gradual climb in that particular way. So at least that's how I understand some of those changes to be made. We're functioning on a very, very old patch in this game, and so it's been very difficult to kind of... I got games going on multiple patches right now, and so it's been very confusing. This game on kind of right after the original patch, right? The game launched, there was a big patch, and then we kind of started playing. And then there was the really big patch, right, where the Invisible Hand update happened, and they added Canada, and they added the True Earth map and all that fun stuff that they added. But this game is actually pre the Invisible Hand patch even, and so they have done so much balancing. I mean, credit to Amplitude, right? They've done so much balancing and changes and adjusting in the game. They're constantly tweaking things based on player feedback and experiences. But what that also means is that this game is drastically different at this point than the game that most people are playing. So I try to make mention of those things when I know them, but man, things are changing at a pretty rapid pace. Implement's being very responsive to community feedback. Grocers have been shifting this way and that way. Inns have been changed. Requirements, growth opportunities for cities, the way territories expand and how often they expand. I mean, all these things have had changes. So we will continue playing on this particular patch, but the game has balanced and improved, I think, in substantial ways, even since we started playing the game at launch, and particularly throughout the course of this game. There's been a lot of great updates and changes that have been made to Ara that I think make the game even better than it is in our patch that we're playing on, which is very, very old at this point. Let's press that next turn button and see where the game will take us today. All right, we got predators being cleared. We're actually hunting up here. This guy's in a sorry state. We'll keep him moving, and then if we run into another hunt that we can do, we'll just sit and heal for a little bit, because we're very far away from our land at this point. We have a cache up here. Let's see, are these guys... Oh, yeah, okay, Hal. They're from the Halle tribe, they're neutral with me. In fact, we're like borderline friendly, so we should be able to just... We're gonna hunt this, but we should probably sneak this first. Let's go sneak a cache. Like sitting on Belgium's borders, waiting for them to get called, stealing caches from them. Relationship with Japan from dislike to neutral. Okay, so now they've decided they don't dislike me as much as they possibly could. Mines getting in. We're kind of increased our materials per turn is kind of low, so big losses for the Spearman. The Spearman got promoted to level 4 though, so he's, not that he's doing anything that it matters that he's level 4. Okay, because again, we haven't triggered at some point we will trigger the warning that the AI have appropriately moved up in techs, and there are 4 players that have joined us in the next tech era. That will signal that the game is going to move into Act 2, and the bottom empires will be culled. That means that Belgium and Japan, unless things drastically change between now and then, will be gone, which is why we're positioning scouts just outside of them. When they leave, they will leave behind armies, which we'll try to dodge around, but they will also leave behind a plethora of fantastic caches that can be collected that have all kinds of great things in them. Essentially, their empire collapses, but they don't just disappear. The armies stick around, and then there are ruins effectively that you can go and grab stuff from when their empire was around in Act 1 when we were in Act 2. All right, we're still gonna sit here. We're not ready to make this change yet. Again, we could make the change, but I'm waiting for the end of the Golden Age to do this, primarily because I want to make sure we get production into the Wonders as much as possible during our Golden Age, and make sure we don't have to pay like a ton of money in order to finish that last triumph. So we'll sit for a little while longer. Messina has grown, and Messina can kind of grow anywhere. One of the things that was pointed out actually in the comments of the last episode is Italy's got battalions, line formations. They've got a square formation. That was actually, I think a square formation just moved across the map and is now in this city. They have some potent military forces. They're actually, we have the highest military strength. They have the second highest military strength. So when we decide that the time has come to burn down these 3 cities, it is not going to be a simple fight. It is going to be something that definitely takes some time, and we'll have to kind of carefully plan what we want to do for that, because I think it is going to be kind of interesting what ends up happening in that regard when we decide to do that, because Italy, I'm sure, will retaliate at some point, right? Okay. We are ready to grow here. Now, we could take this and completely cut off... Oh, man, that's really tempting. So we could take this right away and cut off Milano completely, or Telangana could take that and free up Messina maybe to make more claims down into this area later. Also would give Messina access to coast, which they wouldn't otherwise have, and Telangana can get coast otherwise. That's actually a really great point, because we can get a dock in that territory if we grab it, and that makes a lot of sense. So let's finish the full cutoff of the Italian capital city, make sure that they're stuck up there in an appropriate way. 24 food right now, so we have an expert to put in, and I think we can go into one of our iron mines if we have a spot for it. Iron? iron. Our other iron is here, so they all have boost. Okay, so we're boosted in all of those. So that's okay. And we're about to have a mill, which is where we're going to want to put this expert probably. So for now, we could just throw it on the food or the timber. You know what? +5 craft production is not bad. Let's throw it over here. That's not a bad idea. Okay. Let them finish their mill as well. A couple craft queues empty. A couple gathering halls, it looks like. A gathering hall and a workshop. We'll access those from here, as we almost always do. And that workshop was, I believe, crafting gears. We now have extra gears, so that's nice. We are low on plows. Actually, off recording, I noticed that we had not put policies in our irrigated farms, which was kind of a pretty big error. And so I slotted the policies into our irrigated farms, and all of the plows that we had in excess were swept away into our farms, which was where they should have been the entire time. So I do think that we might want a few more plows. Well, I think I don't know how close we are to heavy plows yet, but I think we'll go ahead and throw the wealth at this. We'll just get plows out as quickly as we can. We're going to need some more. We're short on plows anyway. Maybe not. Maybe we won't do 5. Maybe we'll do 5 and kind of see where we sit. I know we're going to be crafting more farms, so we're going to want more at some point, but I don't want to overdo it. I mean, we only have a couple workshops that aren't kind of permanently crafting things right now, so we want to be able to, I just want to make sure we're balancing that appropriately as we're kind of going along. All right, what's our great hearth making? Peace. And I've got gathering halls making feast still, and a couple code of laws. What's our code of laws situation look like? 25. Now, I believe a recent change made it so that feasts and code of laws are no longer, or maybe it's just code of laws, I can't remember. They no longer go away in Act 2 when you transition. They're still available, and so I don't think that will be true in our game, but it might be. But we also want to start crafting festivals. I'm going to switch the Great Hearth to festivals next time they come up. For now, I'll keep these guys on the Code of Laws, just to keep Code of Laws kind of coming out in a steady pace. We want a good backlog of them to be able to slot in for a while when we end up in Act 2. Telangana is ready to put something in, and they can do just about anything here. They're doing just fine. I think we're going to put the extractor on this vanilla. We'll go ahead and go with an irrigated farm on the vanilla. That feels good. And then we actually want to switch. Oh, man. It's really tempting to go into the dyes here because I know we need dyes, but we also need iron. And this gets us city production. We're going to go here first, and we'll eventually get an expert up in here as well. But we'll switch that expert out in Telangana. And actually, I don't know, can we do the same thing here? No, their farm's not in yet. So they'll sit. Okay. Let's go next turn. 5 turns now remaining in our golden age. The Library of Celsus is complete. I'm going to move into decorative arts because I'm still debating whether we're going to do stirrups and crossbows. We might. We're ahead in techs, and I'm debating, so we can't upgrade our units because we're on an old patch. Obviously, they introduced that a long time ago during the Invisible Hand update. You can upgrade units, which is a huge change. Massive thing that they needed to add to the game, and they did. We did not get that in our game because it didn't occur in old saves, and so we can't upgrade our units. So what I'm thinking is we actually might need those 2 techs in order to build up an upgraded army. We need probably an upgraded armies, right? Several armies that we can use to kind of at the forefront of our fights to be able to compete with, right? All of they have, looks like bowmen, right? As opposed to other things. They've got war chariots and catapults and things. Like, they've got upgraded units. I noticed one of their forces down here, this square formation, even has war elephants with spearmen. It's a very odd combination, but they've got units all over the place, but they have some advanced units that we don't have because we can't upgrade our current armies. So we kind of need something in that regard as we kind of go. So we might want to do some of those techs just to get access to that. We found a new source of lead in an owned region. Where is it? Oh, right here. Have we not built anything on that yet? Because that'd be nice. What are we putting in here? A grocer? Oh, bummer. That was supposed to get stacked with a bunch of farms. Well, we found out a few turns too late. That's fine. We'll get the lead on there. We'll farm it, or we'll mine it, and then we'll farm all around it, I guess. Unfortunate. No, we're receiving food oil from Italy. Cool. Well, give us your spice then. What else are we not receiving? Did we get some fish? What else got canceled? The ropes. Oh, okay, that's fine. Irrigated farm complete and a mill complete. So we did get our new mill in. Like that. And we'll just get them crafting paper. And I think we're just going to be putting the timber towards it again, right? We do have dyes online now, but I don't want to use our one source of dyes on paper. We got plenty of mills that are crafting away at paper, so I think we'll just leave that the way it is. Set it up that way. All right. Idle units. This is our damaged guy. Ooh, what's this? Titanium. Let's go here because it'll bust more fog. All right. Oh, wow. That revealed a ton of the map. So Kyoto is their first city. They got more cities down here. There is a scout sitting right here. The Mongolian Empire is also considering what might happen when Kyoto falls. This army was going to be a problem for us, probably. Now that I've seen all this, I'm going to bring our scout back, and we'll just kind of hang around right here and wait for the culling to happen so we can be first and foremost on those caches. We're going to hold on that still. Got a couple craft queues empty. Looks like a gathering hall, and then our other workshop. We'll swing down to this gathering hall. They were crafting feasts, it looked like. We're still crafting feasts at a pretty high rate. We're getting Code of Laws as well, so that actually means that we probably can go ahead and start slotting festivals here. That's probably a good idea. We technically have the fabrics to do this, but I might hold on that. We'll go with the salted fish. And let's see, can we throw spice on there? Oh, we can almost throw spice on there. Let's do it. We'll throw the spice in there. Might need to boost our spice production capabilities a little bit. And do we set this to infinite? Let's set it to like 10, just so we can, keep track of other things as that happens in case we want to switch it up at some point. That's going to take, 60 turns or something for them to finish all those? We have options here. We could get more metal tools, and that's probably a really solid idea. We've got someone crafting plows. We've got someone crafting candles, pots, and ropes. We are good on gears. Well, we have 3 extra gears anyway, and we've got someone crafting baskets, right? So we're kind of crafting a lot of the stuff we want. I feel like we could just metal tools start disappearing very quickly if you don't have enough of them. So I think we go double metal tools here. We want to craft them as quickly as possible, right? I honestly think we just throw the wealth at it. We have wealth to spare, so we'll just infinite craft more metal tools out of this particular workshop. Eventually, we're going to have to pull people out of that infinite crafting phase because we'll get new things to build. We have completed the Library of Celsus, and in doing so, completed one of our act goals. It's been a while since we visited that topic, so if you recall, the game will give you goals to craft certain things, build certain buildings. Usually it centers around building triumphs, and we were the one to build the Library of Celsus. So not only do we get the Library of Celsus prestige, we also get the act goal prestige. And because we're doing it in Golden Age, we also get the 25% on this prestige gate as well. So that is not bad at all. Let's just check out the triumph over there. We're actually just looking at it. There is our Library of Celsus. Lovely building. Like the details. There you go. And we have increased our knowledge in Marsh, and our research per turn, I believe, has gone up as well. Let's check our idle cities. Messina is idle, and they just finished their mill, right? Yeah, they finished their mill, and I believe our plan was to put workshops in here, so I think we want to just go ahead and get more workshops. We'll just load the workshops into Toronto. Yeah, because they're sitting pretty on everything else. They don't have anything to improve, so let's do that. We'll click here, and we'll go to workshops. We have 3 workshops in here. That'll get us situated pretty nicely from a workshop standpoint. Oh, we also need stables. Actually, you know what? No, scratch that, because we just got access up here, right? We just got access up here, so we're gonna let the mill just sit there for a second. I'm gonna fill this up first, so we're gonna go. This is a nice territory. I'm gonna go like workshop, docks, stables, and we'll leave maybe one empty. But I think what we'll do is we'll start with a workshop here. That will decrease, right? Once we get the workshop in, it will take a 25% production bonus off of our docks and our stables. We'll docks and stables in this city, and then we'll be able to just crank on things real fast there. Then we'll fill the mill up and things like that. That feels really nice to me. All right, Marsh was creating the Triumph, and so now they are free to go about their business. They have a stables and a dock, so we're good there. And what do we need? Food is definitely becoming an issue, and we're about to reach a dwelling problem. So first things first, let's come over here, and we'll put in a dwelling. We'll go dwelling first, probably into farm in that particular city, because they're looking like they need some food. We don't need dwellings or food in Neza. So Neza is free to go about their business doing whatever they want to do. They put a grocer in. No, they didn't put a grocer in here. Have they put a grocer in? This would be a great territory for our grocer, right? We put the grocer in and then we surround it with farms. They don't have one yet, so let's just do that. Grocer down. Most of our cities are getting grocers. You can see we're actually building 3 grocers right now. I do think they're very valuable. And we're ready to end turn. There we go. 4 turns left in the golden. Cash collected. Tribe met. Oh, I forgot our boat's still over here. The New Austro-Mesowaca tribe. What a name. There's still tribes on the map. So here's the thing. These tribes are going to disappear at act transition. Tribes do not survive the act transition. And so this tribe, if they don't join anybody before the act, the tribe itself will disappear. The armies will stay and will just be hostile to everybody. But, man, I don't know if we have enough time to get these tribes to join us. It's going to be really interesting to see if we're able to do that. All right, we got another grocer complete. Or maybe our first... Oh, it's our first grocer. Our first grocer is complete. All right, we got a grocer. Let's get our policy set. We want to go probably what? I don't know. Plastic containers to barrels to ceramic pots or something like that. We'll get the ceramic pots in there. And the grocers currently will be crafting preserved foods, which will be highly useful for us. We have cured meats and salted fish, and we could use salted fish for this one. We do not have salt or syrup, which is slightly problematic. I do think we'll throw the wealth at it, and then we can throw the food at it, because guess what? We have no use for that 14.5 thousand food that we have, so at least we get to use 10 of it on this. They need more spots. The game desperately needs more ways to use the food surplus that you accumulate. Like, we have 14,000 food that has very, very limited things you could do with it. Literally, you could count on less than one hand the amount of things you could do with food. There's settlers, some units, and this little bonuses, right? I mean, you just can't do anything with food surplus. It just doesn't... You need surplus to grow your cities, but that's per city. So your empire-wide number of storage is just it's not a number that's even useful to you, right? Okay. Idle units. We are hanging out in this land. Let's just see what's going on in there. Let's see. Yeah, let's push into this. That connects to a ton of territories. We're gonna get a bunch of sight based off of that right there. And our boat actually has finished its journey northward, which is kind of nice. Let's just send them up here. Well, I guess I'm gonna send them right here so that we don't waste any turns. And our settler's still gonna hold. We have 4 turns left on that, and we have a new event. All right, so we can get access to elephants. We also get +1 relationship with the tribe. None of these things are like, it's fine. 2 iron actually is kind of painful. But we have, how much iron do we have? We have 58, so it's not a problem for us. Iron, again, was a resource we had to go settle a city specifically to get, right? So anytime I see iron in this game, I'm like, oh, wait, that was a valuable resource. We're going to give them the iron and just take the relationship. On the off chance that somehow we can get them to like us before the end of the act. So, don't you love the look at this. Look how beautiful this is. The people, they've got the huts, they've got their cool little, like, built into the hill hut with like different pieces and like this little thing set into the hut. I don't know, I really love the little graphical details, the art style. This kind of stuff really is where Ara shines, in my opinion. There we go. We'll take the relationship and see what we can do with it. We got our capital city is now idle. I can't remember what they were building, but they're good on food and... Oh, they were building a grocer. right? So they've got their grocer in, so we could put more farms down, or we could look to other places where we could improve. We have a farm yet to put here as well, but we do need more access to spices, and saffron would get us spices. This would get us cotton. Cotton is also useful. We're not gaining cotton at a rapid pace either, so both of those would be good improvements actually to have. An irrigated farm here, and I'm just going to go double irrigated farm, to be honest, in the capital, I think. That's going to be kind of our play for now. All right, let's press the next turn button. A couple caches discovered. Okay, so now we know our scout can eventually, well, the Aztecs are headed in this direction, so we'll see. We can get this guy moving all the way up to here now. Just do that now. Germany trusted to friendly, so we're decreasing over time. No longer receiving sheep. Okay. Oh, we're going to flip back to wool. Perfect. I honestly don't think we've gotten a single wool or sheep out of this deal, because it's constantly flip-flopping between the two of those things. I'm not actually sure we've gotten any. Like, the turns don't go by. Like, it requires 4 turns to get a wool. I'm pretty sure that wool will disappear on, like, the 3rd turn, and then it switches back to sheep being available. And then it just, like, keeps flip-flopping. I don't think we actually get any sheep either, because then the sheep go away, and then I don't know. It's just been... It's been a thing. We got a dwelling that's done. We have a unit that is idle, and we can't move in. Oh, we can move into his territory. We have open borders with him. Okay. Well, I guess we'll take a peek. Take a peek over there. All right, lots of different. And then what is this? We'll find out shortly. And we're just kind of ready. Like, well, there's nothing else for this scout to do except just kind of stand here for now. We're just waiting for people to move up. We're going to hold on this again. We have 3 turns left in our golden. They have reached this spot. We're also going to have them hold. They're not defended, so we've got an army close-ish, though. Population milestone for Callion, and so that is lovely. And what we're going to do with Callion is, well, now we have to consider. Oh, it's not a growth one. Okay, it's the 13th, so we don't actually grow. And we do need to take care of a food problem here now. So that should be relatively simple. If there's any farms we can put, yeah, right here. Go boom, boom. There's 2 farms. Food problem solved. Not by much, though. And they need a new amenity as well. Swing through and check on our amenities. We could go gourmet meals. We do have 55 of them. That's actually quite a few gourmet meals. We're crafting gourmet meals at a pretty decent pace. Metal pots is another one I put in a lot. Sandals is actually really good, and we don't have sandals in. We currently are good on food. I'm gonna have Callion grow a little faster if we slotted in the gourmet meals, though. So I think we're gonna go gourmet meals. Get that growth factor up as high as we can. Marsh is also ready to build. I can't remember what Marsh was doing. They have a food problem as well, so they need to look to where are they going to grab food. Now, did they just put a grocer in by any chance? They have irrigated farms in a couple different places, but they don't have a grocer. This is a 6. I mean, we could grocer this. We could also granary that. There's a million different things you could put in that territory, right? Probably end up doing a little bit of both, but let's go grocer in Bologna. That seems like a great spot. We'll put another grocer down. And we'll surround that with a bunch of farms. It's only a 2 food, but that's kind of the best they've got right now. All right, let's continue on. Now we have decisions to make. All right. Do we want stirrups? Do we want crossbows? Crossbows are 15 attack. As opposed to what? What can we currently train? Archers or bowmen? Archers are only 6. Bowmen are 11. I don't feel it's necessary. Footmen are nice. Mounted scouts are not necessary, but footmen might be a nice boost. 25 on footmen as compared to our current best is the berserkers at 17, right? We have knights, but as far as, you know, swordsmen and stuff, yeah, the footmen are pretty decent. So maybe we'll skip crossbows, but we'll go stirrups. We'll go stirrups to get access to the footmen, because I think that's going to be pretty beneficial to us. Okay, we got a workshop, an irrigated farm, and a grocer. Let's jump up here. We'll take care of that. We got a new workshop in, so we can start back in on something. Again, we got double metal tools. We got pots, candles, baskets, rope. We got most things are being just kind of crafted as we go. We've got somebody working on a lot of things. We're gonna run out of furniture eventually, so we could do a few more furniture. That's not a bad idea. We might run out of gear at some point. Let's throw a couple furniture down. I don't want to put many boosts on here, to be honest. It's just not worth it. Build them in 6 turns. Get us like 5 more, and we'll call that good. Every time we build a dwelling, it'll just have the furniture ready to put in it, so it'll automatically get that supply. Do we have more salted fish? We don't, so we got to switch over here to your meats for this one. And we are going to run out of boosts for these, which is kind of a pain. But I would like to get these out as quickly as possible. So let's get the grocers crafting. Our Great Hearth is going to switch over to festivals as well. We are going to start drawing down on feasts a little bit, but that's fine. I haven't found a good use for these censures. They just don't. All they do is plus city religion spread strength. Again, we maxed out our religion already. Something they could look at to maybe improve the game, possibly. All right, from a festival standpoint, I think we're going to use the bread because we have enough. And, oh man, this is where it's going to get tricky, right? Because we don't... Oh! Our spice production per turn just went to 14? Did we get we got the farm on the saffron? Yeah. Oh my gosh. We're clearing 13 spice per turn out of this saffron farm that we didn't have up and running before. We really need to get our improvements online for our resources, especially the resources we're using. Goodness me. Alright, we'll just keep poking around. I mean, we might as well be sitting in the territory, right? But there's a war going on? We got burned down farms up here? Let's see, 2 turns left on our golden, so we should probably just buy out our wonder, and then we could do, on the next turn, we could do like our city settles and stuff, right? We might make our government switch here on this turn even. We can even do it on this turn, right? Our capital has grown once again. We're at 16 food. Dwelling space is still okay. We do need to look for another place to put our dwellings because we maxed out our capital. Our city center on dwellings. That's just something for us to think about. But we get to grow, which is always exciting. And this is a 5, which is really nice. Are we looking for a wonder spot currently? I don't think we are. We don't need a triumph spot. And this is another 5 where we could just put anything in, right? We already have that here, so that frees us up to do a lot of stuff. We can also get more saffron if we go this way. We got so much spice now, it doesn't really matter, yeah? So let's just take this 5. It's just a useful territory. It's just a useful land. We got experts as well. Can we put any of them into farms or anything particularly useful? Yeah, we could put it into this saffron farm and get even more saffron. Oh, we could put it into the grocer. That's a nice choice. I like that. We actually have spots left in farms, so we can even improve our farms further. I might do that. We might put one right here in this farm just to keep that high. All right, what are we lacking here? We have like everything in here probably. Yeah, we're gonna start running out. This is where you start running out of amenities if you're not actively crafting new stuff. Now we will get access to that preserved food, which we don't have in yet. We have 8 wine, which is, I don't mind wine at all. Happiness and prosperity is not bad. Although we're 100 on both of those. So actually, that would actually be, there'd be no benefit in slotting this. The only things we want to slot are knowledge and security. So we can just put like a strategy codex in. Let's take a look. Knowledge would be best. What do we have for knowledge around? Just regular codex. Or some books. We're crafting books at a pretty decent pace. 20 city knowledge if we just put books in here. I don't mind that. We'll need the books for other things, but we're crafting books. We're crafting books like super fast, right? Yeah, 1.4 per turn. And we're only losing at 0.1. That's an easy add. Plus we're capping out a lot of our things, heading out of our golden age. That's gonna be pretty nice, actually. Cena is also ready to build. That means they got their workshop in, which means we're going to go into docks. Our docks in. Again, only 4 turns to get that in, and we're going to go stables in that city next, right? Poland would like us to consider an offer. A trade agreement? Absolutely, sir. I'm gonna need a new trade agreement when we declare war on Italy at some point, so. Italy wants a research agreement? Man, they never send me proposals. No one ever sends me proposals. That's so nice. We have another city that is idle. Callion is also idle here, so let's go ahead and keep Callion. Oh, we have more access to possible saffron here. That's quite nice again. Food is good here. Dwellings are good here. So we kind of project into whatever we want in Callion. Got several great things going. Oh, I guess we should get this lead online. Let's do that. We'll put in a mine on the lead, and then we probably need to get our farms in around. You put a grocer in, but you want to take advantage of the fact that the grocer is going to get you food. So even if you don't need the food now, you might want to like put the stuff in around the grocer, right? Okay, let's take a look at. We're about to end our golden age. We're 2 turns away. So if we want to do all of our moves here, it might max our prestige if we do this. So I think this is going to be a big turn for us. So if we look here at the monastery, we have 4 turns left. It only costs 282 wealth to rush this thing next turn. So we're just going to press the button. We're going to press the rush button. And here's what's going to be interesting. Now what I'm going to do is switch governments. And I think that will take place next turn. So I think we're going to have to, it won't be immediate. But I wonder if it'll change our production numbers and like increase the cost of that. So we'll rush that. We got all of our other wonders, all of our other triumphs are built. And we can now jump into our government, and we've got our settlers approximately where we know we want them. So if we want to change governments, we are going to go ahead and make a move to empire. Then we're going to switch to feudalism immediately after that. So let's go. We'll go low tax rate, plus 10 craft production and all crafting improvements, or plus 10 build production. I think I'll go with the build production, so we'll take like a smidge of a hit on our craft production, but that's okay. And it also is going to impact our money. It's also going to impact our happiness and our knowledge. So again, we don't want to spend a lot of time in Empire, just enough to get our city settled. So we're going to go ahead and switch to new. And that doesn't take place immediately, right? It doesn't take place immediately. You can see our numbers go down for what we're going to get next turn, right? So our gold went down substantially. So all of our numbers kind of adjusted to that. But we don't have the city cap yet until next turn. So we'll make the switch. I'm really fascinated. Like this, I don't think we'll change the cost because we locked it in. But anyway, we'll press the next turn button. That will get us our 2 city cap. We'll settle our 2 cities. And then we will immediately then switch to feudalism on that turn. Once the cities are down, we will switch, right? So that's going to be the play. Here we go. There's our 2 city cap. Monastery of Battaglia is in. We are maximizing our prestige. Our government's been switched to empire. We claimed the region. Poland has changed from neutral to close, so they liked that agreement we signed with them. We have a farm built. We have some idle units. There's fighting going on over here. Who knows? Getting wild around here. Is this the Mongolian Empire? No. Because the Mongolian Empire is way down there. Is this Sennacherib? It's supposed to be Sennacherib's empire. Yeah, that's gotta be, right? I don't recognize his little sign. So that which probably makes sense. I haven't had him in many of my games. Alright, got our boat ready to boat. That. And we'll just sit here with this guy. And now we get to do our city settle. So let's see. We can finally press the city settle button. And guess what? Even in the last patch, we still don't have zone information. Let's double check. I mean, I don't know. I don't in this game. Alright, settler. I gotta press the settle button so I get my zone information, in which I then still have to count zones. Ugh. Okay, I'd love to actually move down if I can. But I also want an optimal territory. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So that is a 5. It is a nice territory. It's got some stuff real close to it. But if we can find something else, we might look for it. So let me do a little bit of reconnaissance, and I'll see what our numbers look like. Okay, so we have several choices. We have the one we're standing on, which is what Delhi was originally settled on. It's a lovely 5 territory, adjacency to some nice resources, but it doesn't get us access. Like, if you typically like 4 territories away is about what you're gonna get. 1, 2, 3, 4-ish. Honestly, I think we would miss just a little bit of the resources we might want in the corner. I think it would get very difficult to make claims down here. So I'd love to scoot a little bit. We also have Callion right here that's pushing the borders here. So if we can move this way maybe a little bit closer to Mahara, Of course, then we have a northern problem, but I mean, these guys can claim down to like here-ish. We'd be really close to like borders, so if we could scoot over, that'd be nice. So here's what I found. We have right here, there's a lovely 5 right on the lake. So there's a 5 right here. There's also a 5 right beside that right here. And so both of these are really nice settle spots. Either of these would get us easy access to the entire coastline here and would allow us to also kind of push up in this direction. And I think this one, closer to the lake and farther from Callion, gives us some good claim capabilities. So if you think about, like, if you could get about 4 away, 1, 2, 3, 4, like, still gets us pretty far up here. Definitely crosses paths with Telangana. I think this would be a decent spot. The only problem is we might leave, I don't know, once this city's burnt down, claiming all these middle pieces might be tricky, but you got Nuku'alofa, Messina, like, there's a lot of places that can potentially take those lands. So I think I might push for a more central settle over here, and I think I might push over here. That puts us almost equidistant between Callion and Maha. I feel like that feels good, right? Because you're looking at what, 1, 2, 3. Well, it's pretty close to Maha, to be honest, because of the lake. But if you consider like 1, 2, 3, 4, we'd be sitting what, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 from Callion. I mean, I feel like that's okay. This could also be a possible settle, but I think this one is probably where I want to go. Let's go right over here. Now, the problem, of course, with doing this is we're going to have to stay in Empire a little bit longer. We kind of knew this might happen, but I'm going to run with it. So let's go here. That's going to take, what, 3 turns? So we're going to be at Empire a lot longer than I thought. That's okay, though. So we'll move in that direction. We'll have these units kind of move with them. And then we'll go to our other settler, who's going to have the same, probably, issue. So let's take a look. Okay. So we have a couple options. I'm kind of weighing like, oh, it's kind of tricky here. So the only 5 in this entire region over here is this guy right here, just south of where we sit. That pushes us very close to New Delhi, which again, eventually the city's going to disappear. So it doesn't particularly matter the closeness to Delhi, but it pushes us actually pretty close to Maha. And so I'm not apt to move south at all. Plus I kind of wanted to claim some of this land, right? The goal is, right? So try to claim some of this. So I'd rather stay further north. There's a 4 here. It's really tempting, actually, to go here because it would get me access to up here a little quicker. This is also a 4, but it has the wild llamas. I was debating settling right here, actually, because I could get all the way across to, like, the fish over here, which would be pretty useful for us. If I just, like, settle on the llamas, just, like, don't take the wool, or take the wool, but at, like, a slow pace. It's really tempting to do that. Telangana, right, can reach across, like, pretty far, so we could really go into any of these areas. I'm really tempted to just settle the coast here on the llamas, because just it's central to kind of the land I want to grab up, and that's kind of the key, right? So I think that might be the direction that I go. I think I'm going to move over here. I'm going to settle right on the llamas, I don't... Just that allows us to be extracting, I guess. Well, it doesn't really matter if I settle on them or not. So maybe I settle off of them just so we can put an extractor on them if we want to. Yeah, that makes more sense, right? That way, when we need to put a dwelling on top of them, we could just put a dwelling on top of them. But if we wanted to put a farm, then we could for a little while. So that sounds fine. I'm going to do this settle. It feels a little weird maybe, but I'm trying to centralize to this region and be able to claim up this land and hopefully some of the fish, because there's a lot of really nice fish, whales, the clams, and stuff like that, the shellfish resource. So that feels really good to try to grab all of that. Okay, that gets us where we need to go from that perspective. That took a little while, but we got there. We got there eventually. Okay, docks are going in. Oh, this was a growth turn for them, so they grew. We have an extra expert, which is fine. They don't have an expert in their mill. I think we just go straight into mill. Docks obviously will be another one that we'll want to get in, and then we've got farms for when we need food. We don't need the food now. Baskets is an option, but I mean, we kind of want to push growth, right? We could just go gourmet meals. Let's just put gourmet meals in. We'll just push growth on all of our cities. It's never a bad idea, right? Population milestone in Neza, so Neza is also ready to grow. Neza just grows in a northern trajectory now, right? Like, we're just, our whole objective is attempt to cut off take a look at borders. Yeah, we can't go around Gurganon, but we should try to push as far north as we can to settle. That's a 2. Oh, we could claim this one? Oh, that's lovely. That's lovely and kind of funny, to be honest. That cuts them off a little further. Settle. These claims are getting a little ridiculous. Let's go gourmet meals here. I didn't even check. I like gourmet meals. What's our food situation? 35. Okay, so our expert can go anywhere. And if that's the case, let's take a quick peek at what we have. We'll put it into ceramic shops. And then a lot of the rest of this is all food currently. We don't need the religious spread. Library gets us plus 20 city knowledge. What's our city knowledge at? Oh, where are you? I mean, that's just plus 5, because remember, they're already getting 15, but 3 research per turn, though, is not bad. I don't mind that. But ceramic shops would be nice to get some extra production at eventually, right? I don't know, we'll go library for now. It just feels... That feels very valuable. And then we have 2, so we could actually just come over here to the ceramic pots, and it wouldn't be a bad thing at all, right? Let's start putting them in, and we'll call it. We'll just continue to fill those as we go. Hopefully we can continue to do that. The Assyrian Empire accepted by gift of forces. Excellent. Use them well. Thank you. German Empire declined by research proposal, because why not? And the Mongolians accepted by... I sent them a couple of gourmet meals, which... How generous of me, you know? Project in Maha. So Maha off and running. They got their farm in and their other piece in. So, man, we got options here. We got options for Maha. I wonder, we could probably use... How are we doing on... Yeah, we got plenty of grain stores. Granary does boost farms a substantial amount, though. It's nice to even just have them for that purpose. When you settle these later cities, it gets kind of tricky because you're like, what do I want in this city? Do I want to do the same things that I was doing? Do we need more granaries? Should we just go into a grocer because that's more useful? It's tricky, right? So it's nice to have a granary. It gets you plus city health. City health is always nice. The food growth is nice. You'll eventually want it. So I think I'm gonna go granary in this area with the farm. Just stick with that. Eventually, the city will get bigger and we'll be able to do, you know, some crafting hubs and things like that. But the other thing is, like, we got a lot of our crafting hubs up and running. So you start to have to make, like, well, what is this city's purpose? What are we doing with this city? We're getting close on growth here in New Coahuila, so we want to be aware of that. They just finished their wonder, and we were putting more blacksmiths down, which was probably a questionable decision at best. We could put a... I don't think they have a... Yeah, we could go stables over here. I tend to pair my docks and my stables together. We did need a few more stables. So I'm down to put a stables in. We needed to... I was running low on carriages. I noticed I was running low on carriages, so that's something I wanted to kind of put down. All right, Triumph complete. There it is. This is actually one of the more beautiful triumphs in the game, and I don't say that lightly because a lot of them look good. This one is pretty stunning. If you come down, we could look at it. Where was that? Right here. Number one, it's right on the river, but like, look at this little spot right here on it. It's just perfectly replicated from real life, and like, it's just a stunning. The details, the intricacies they put into the triumphs, lovely. And between the river here, that looks really good. Very nice. Okay, we go next turn. We got to get our city settled before we switch governments, which is kind of unfortunate, but so we got to wait a couple for this guy to get down to where he's going to go. This guy's going to be up on the next turn. And we'll go in that direction. Our golden age has ended. Claimed a region. Golden age is done. Our diplomatic alliance with Italy is going to end soon, so we might want to pay attention to that because he has a lot of armies. Irrigated farm done, grocer done, mine done. So let's go up here, get that grocer working. Got plenty of grocers now, I feel like. We're cruising on grocers. We'll continue to build these. I think we're capped on salted fish. We are capped on cured meats as well. So we actually need to get a few more butcher shops in to get more salted fish and more cured meats out. So that might be a focal point for one of our cities, is just to put more of those in. Because we actually don't have enough to boost this anymore. 1 per 8 is not a bad play, but I'd love to be able to boost these further. We have actually other things that we need to boost as well, right? Okay, we're at 0.9 here, we're at 0.5 here, and we got several people making the festivals now. If we've got 2 making festivals currently, I think we'll go feasts one more time. Let's go one more time on the feasts. We'll do a round of 5, and then we'll probably start making our switch over as we make the transition towards the act, which we still have not gotten any indication of. Just kind of hanging out in different lands here. There is Ashur, so that's the capital city. And I guess we'll just kind of maneuver around over here. But this unit is idle. They could just, we'll just have them fortify because they're just going to sit in the city, right? It's a nice spot for them to be able to get to a couple different places. We need to get some roads in, actually. Oh, you know what? Actually get roads in. Should have gotten roads in a while ago, because we have... Oh, the roads already existed. Roads already were done to there. What about here to here? Yeah, that one doesn't need to be done. That one would be nice, and then that'll allow us to get up to that one too. So roads are crisscrossing pretty much everything. I think we're good there. Some of the roads get crafted because there was an enemy there or whatever, so we're just waiting on this guy. We probably should have just kept exploring because we still haven't gotten that trigger, right? Marsh is growing, and they now have a food problem. So Marsh has a food problem. They're building a grocer, but I don't think I'm able to solve their food problem. We get 15 food out of this. That'll be close. Okay, perfect. That was enough if we give them that. And then they have experts and everything too, so we don't have any farms. So we do need that grocer. Once that grocer goes in, then, well, we do have a farm right here. We could throw an extra expert in there. That'd be fun. I don't know. And then where else? Where else? Our workshop, maybe? One of our blacksmiths. I don't feel like we're not struggling on getting any of that stuff out. Food oil is always nice, actually. Throw it on the farm. And then we can grow anywhere we want. We have any growth that we would like to have, we can take. Because our borders are fully closed around Milano and Zico at this point, right? So we don't have to worry about that. I guess we just start claiming out in this direction. Because that's all. This is going to be Marsh's land to claim. Well, at least this one. Messina's going to need some of this space as well. So I guess we could just go that way. No? They're still building things. We have Callion idle once again. We could get some pubs in. Pubs would be useful. Because pubs have replaced inns, and the pubs I can build one per city. The inns I was limited on, right? And they're not limited, at least not as much as they are in the newest patches, but that's something that we can think about for sure. A quick look at what we have access to, and then farms with the grocer was the other thing we were thinking about, right? So this is a lovely spot for a triumph. Do we have any triumphs on our list? Classical gardens require 40 fertilizer. Oh, we need chemists. We could upgrade to chemists in some of our spots, right? That might be something we choose to do in one of our locations. We might want to focus that too. We put our library here, which is kind of a pain, but that does, I mean, we could then put the pub there. Doesn't fit with the, you know what? Pub next to docks feels decent. I don't think I'm going to take the goats, and I don't know if we need the grapes, to be honest. Let's put a pub next to our docks. Want it on the, let's do it on the, I like it towards the city center. Let's put a pub in, why not? Let's get something rolling with a pub. Neza's also ready to go. And Neza is the one where we could definitely go down here. See, we were putting in apothecaries, so what we could start doing is just stacking chemists. Because we have access to chemists, do we not? Yeah, we do. So we stack all 3 of the remaining chemists here. We have 3 left that we can place. All 3 of them go here. We eventually upgrade these. They all benefit each other, right? They boost chemists and chemist upgrades. So let's start building chemists here. Chemists will allow us to get the fertilizer out, which is going to improve our farms, which is also going to allow us to build the only triumph that's on our list currently, if we choose to take a shot at that one. Food is fine here. We're putting, oh yeah, we got a bunch of, oh man, we got choices here as well, right? We have choices here. Oh, they're growing next turn and they have 15 food. So I think the most obvious choice is to throw an irrigated farm in the under the assumption that on the next turn that 15 food is going to get devoured. In fact, we could probably check, right? No, it doesn't actually. That's the problem, is it doesn't tell you how much food is going to end up being consumed. There's like maybe that number exists somewhere. You can let me know in the comments if you can see how much food is going to be needed now in your territory. Okay, I think we'll call it there for the episode. I know we did not get very far, and I understand that, but the next turn is going to be a big one because we're going to get this city looks like this city is settling because they reached their spot, and it looks like this city is going to settle as well. So I think we've got 2 of our cities going down, which means we're going to get our government switch in on the next turn. We're going to get 2 new cities down that we've got to put all of our stuff into and decide what we're doing with. So let's call it an episode there. Next time, we've got our big government switch turn. We're going to see how powerful feudalism is. We've got some exciting things going, and then we got kind of then we're entering a period of the game where I think it's going to be a lot of next turning because we've got a lot of stuff up and running, and so far doesn't appear that we have any wars on the horizon until we choose to declare war on Italy. Our relationship with them is still great, so I don't foresee them declaring a war on us. So that's kind of the state of where we're at. Thank you so much for tuning in to the episode today. Always a pleasure to have you here. If you like the content, make sure to hit that thumbs up button and that you're subscribed to the channel so you know when we release these videos. We are going back to just the once a week releases very shortly here. So it's going to be in the month of February, we're kind of transitioning back to just Sunday releases. We've got Civ 7 content on the horizon. When this episode releases, I believe I will already be playing Civ 7, and I'll be very excited about that. We'll finish out this series, and then we'll start to transition over to Civ 7 content here on the YouTube channel, which I'm very excited about. But I'm really interested in seeing where this game will take us. Obviously, we've got a massive lead, but it's going to be fun to see how endgame plays out, and even mid-game. I mean, we're in mid-game now, but I'm interested to see how the game shifts and changes pacing-wise as we kind of get to that space. I think we're set up for success. So, thank you all for watching, and I'll see you for the next one.